And hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in Rime of the Frostmaiden Part 12, Toil and Trouble, not to be confused with what we thought last week's title was. Today is March 14th, International Pie Day, and you are loved. That is the thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point. Or you can go towards where anywhere audiocasts are made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us on our Discord or just post in the Twitch chat to the side, and we will do our best to respond in kind to those questions. But if you already support us on YouTube, you already support us on Twitch, like Levi, Phipps, Clegane, and Koss already have today. Thank you each for the subs that you have dropped on the channel during this intro. But you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to help support this show even more? Guess what, buddy? I got your back. Quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, clocks, aprons, and most importantly, we also have face masks. That's right, we have face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them. We call them Tiamat masks, done by our very own Cyberwolf1201, with all of the proceeds of said masks going to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause or help support the show, feel free to once again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my spiel. So hey, Satan, who are you playing today?
Hi, I'm Satan, and today I will be playing Kuori, the Goliath fighter, and we both use she/they pronouns.
Oh, hi. I'm LizMac, and today I will be playing our actually sweet bean rock gnome cleric, Lydia, and we both use she/her pronouns.
And Blinky, who are you playing?
I was prepared. I am playing Lucas, the Ranger, Rock Gnome.
And I am the Indoor Adventurer, and tonight I shall be playing as Hart, the Wood Elf Druid. We both use he, him.
And I am Danae Keener, also known as Wings. I'm the DM for tonight. I use she, her. Let's get started. Sovereign of Summer's Lost, General of Winter's War, long live the Queen of Cold and Frost. May she reign forevermore. Hart dreams again tonight. He sees a shining lake, warm and spreading wide across the dale. He also sees a figure wading through it. This figure is much larger than it should be. You recognize this as a giant. It is stooped with age, and its beard is long and drags in the water. You can see various moss and kelp and beads just kind of hanging off of it in various places. And it walks up a stream and towards the yawning mouth of a dark cave. And it walks with a grim purpose. It disappears into the darkness, and everything goes black. And then it fades back in. As you see this giant, ancient and tired, it walks deeper into the cave and eventually comes to a place where the water is steaming and spewing geysers into the air, a hot spring. And he lays down, lowers himself into the warm waters, and you see him lay back until the water encompasses his face. And as we pull back, you see his giant form just laid out across the bottom of this clear hot spring. And as we pull farther and farther back, you can see the bones of his ancestors who came here to die before. And you wake up.
So the hot spring is full of bones?
The hot spring is full of bones.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. I think Hart probably wakes up with tears in his eyes.
I want to say that Hart must have slept in today. I think everybody's already in the main room of the tavern, the White Lady Inn.
So he's by himself in the room when this happens?
It depends. Would anybody leave him unattended?
You're still laying on Snowball.
Yeah, Snowball stayed with you.
Snowball's babysitting.
Yeah, I think Hart, like, whoever is in the room with him probably sees him, like, wake up and just, like, touch at his face.
Yeah. Snowball will turn around and lick the tears off your face.
At first, Hart is, like, a little taken aback because, like, no,
oh God, it's tasting me.
Oh God, I've seasoned myself. Yeah, Hart. But then just, like, after a while, it's just sort of, like, gently gives pets to Snowball. And then he'll just end up getting ready to see the rest of his party.
All right, for sure. I think that when you come out into the inn, it is a gray day. It's very, very cold and colorless, more so than usual. There's kind of an overcast sky today, and it's just that like monotone, like light outside where there's not a lot of contrast. It's just very overcast. You don't really see very many shadows. It's yeah, I it's hard to explain if you haven't witnessed it yourself. Like lived in a place with snow. It's a miserable day. But yeah, that's what it's like outside, and all of the patrons are kind of like leaned over and like spooning bowls full of this kind of colorless mush into their mouths. And you come to realize that this morning's shipment of fish didn't come in, and no other food for that matter. So the proprietor of this inn, his name is Bardaban. He's kind of sullen and elderly, but a little bit crusty and kind of like, you know, tough. So he's all like, we're just gonna tighten our belts. I knew that this crate of hardtack would come in useful eventually. And so he offers you the choice between 3 different meals. One is skilly gilly, one is lobscouse, and the other is dandy funk.
Not appetizing.
It really isn't. It's just 3 different ways to try and truss up hardtack into something that looks edible. And mostly it's just mixing pork fat and water into it. Lobscouse is the closest thing that looks like a meal. It's stew that's thickened with hardtack, but at this point, it's more hardtack than stew.
What's hardtack?
Hardtack, is the lembas bread. You know, it's a dry, hard kind of cracker that was usually like taken on voyages on ships and things. It never goes bad.
Okay.
It was also like a provision in the Civil War. I did some research.
No, sorry, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing because you gave me this answer, and I see in the chat, and all I see is Kaz going, "It's terrible."
It sure is, Kaz. It is flavorless. The ingredients are water, flour, and if you're lucky, salt.
Hart, do you happen to have any good berries, maybe?
like, squinty eye, how do you know I can make good berries? You've never seen me before. Yeah, I can make good berries. I feel like when you asked this,
you did. I'm pretty sure that you offered me one
Probably,
at some point
yeah.
as soon as we met.
Yeah, that sounds like Hart.
Checks out.
I feel like Hart probably, like, you see him coming out of the room just like popping a good berry into his mouth, and like if you ask him for one, he'll just pull out a single berry, offer the single berry to whoever wants it. He has 10 of them, so one for me, heals 1 HP. One for you, heals 1 HP.
In the morning, Kuori will let them know that she's gonna stop by the wet trout.
All right.
She'll be back.
Ooh,
Okay.
spooky.
I'm sure that's
I'll
fine.
be back.
Yeah, I think maybe we should not take any of their food supplies if we can help it, especially if their shipment of fish
I'm
didn't
not
come in.
going to go eat there.
No, I just meant if Hart has good berries, and we're hungry, we should use those instead of taking this food supplies from the people of the town.
That's very sweet, and I also do not want to eat whatever it is they're serving.
It looks nasty.
Lucas.
Don't say it out loud, just in your mind, Lucas.
Hart will like kind of like whisper to Lydia, I'm glad that you started eating the berries. Before, when we were traveling together, you always wanted to get food in town and you never wanted to eat the berries before, so I'm glad that we can finally share something.
Still,
Well, I appreciate it, and I think that it's just the best option all around. But I'm glad we can share something too, Hart. It's going to be really nice to get to know you, I think.
He's a sweetheart. Get it? Because I'm going to go now.
Okay, Kuori. We'll hold down the fort, or do you want company?
If you'd please, I have no opposition to this.
Do either of you have any business in town that we need to attend to?
I wouldn't suggest leaving more than one person away from the group, and from those people, I would not. Lydia, you or I should stay with the group at all times.
Right.
Just two, like, Hart staring back, just like blank face. Just, I could get lost at any moment. And Lucas, who already has been lost at any moment.
She just looks at them.
No,
looks at
speaking of,
Lydia.
Lucas has already like completely like
Walked out of frame.
I said I would stop doing this. Like there's like a Lucas shaped like dotted line. And like there's probably a moment of panic, and then you look around the room and you see that he's actually like sitting at a table and he's having breakfast with Danica.
ooh, something interesting.
Ooh, a shiny thing.
Ooh, a piece of candy.
You're telling me that if I follow you, I'll get a bag of candy? Sorry,
A
A whole bag just for me?
Yeah.
What did we say about strangers, Lucas?
They're nice. They're always nice.
No.
Always tell them that
Punch first,
to
ask
have a nice
questions
day.
later.
No, the reason I was bringing it up was that I think that we should maybe just try and stay as a group as much as possible and figure out what our next step is and where we go from here. And I think that the city's kind of on high alert with everything that happened with me and me.
You. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you want some company to the wet trout and we can kind of try and figure out what we need to do from there, I think that us staying together might be for the best. But if you'd rather just do a quick solo run, I can hold down the fort here with with the guys, and that's fine too.
Fine with either choice. It is up to you.
Kuori, please don't make me make a decision.
Come with me.
Okay. Hart, Lucas, we're gonna go. We're gonna go over to the wet trout with Kuori.
Okay.
There's 5 silver on the counter for pizza.
Here's the number to. Here's the name to yell at the town crier in case anything happens.
Here's a scroll of sending.
So I
Only
think
use it in an emergency.
Yeah.
I think we're all gonna go though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hart's going to fill Lydia in on the way over. Whenever we've gone to meet up with the people who are from the Torgs, they don't have very nice dogs. But there's this one guy who doesn't seem like he's bothered by the cold. Every time that we've talked to him before, the other Lydia was always trying to set Kuori up on a date with him, I think. At least that's what I remember her telling me. I don't really know what that means, but that's what she said that she was trying to do.
Well, Kuori does deserve to find someone, although I doubt that me meddling would affect that much. Next time we see him, can you point him out to me?
Yeah.
Okay, but quietly so Kuori doesn't hear.
Yes.
Are you speaking quietly as we walk together?
No, Hart is not like whispering this at all.
You just see a look from up there, just like. Just disapproving nod and like shake up her head.
I feel like I've missed so much, and obviously, Hart, you and I are going to become new friends, even though you were friends with me before. I know it's very confusing.
Not to you.
I
But
just I appreciate your guys' understanding and being so welcoming to me after everything. And it's just really nice to see Lucas again. And Lydia will definitely like be walking behind Lucas a few steps and just kind of watching him walk with Snowball.
I probably like started to veer off a little bit towards something that looked interesting.
I just grab him by the head and just keep dragging him over. No.
Okay.
I know that, Kuori, you started this journey with me, not me, to find Lucas, and that was the reason that I was on this journey as well, and I think that it goes to say that for all of us, it feels bigger now.
Oh no, yes, it's much bigger. You see, apparently we are destined to take down a great evil or something. Don't worry, we'll talk about it later.
Okay. Maybe not best walking through a city discussion, but
That's why I said we'll talk about it later.
Later sounds good, but soon later.
Okay.
Later soon.
Also, and she'll kind of stop and kind of squat down to like as much as she can to Lydia's level. If you're hiding any important secrets, and this goes to everyone, because I'm tired of secrets, make sure it's not life-threatening. And if you so wish, you can speak to us about it. But they are yours to keep should you wish. But we can help you if you need it. Da?
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Hart?
Hmm?
The secrets I've shared with you and not Lydia are still my own secrets that I will tell Lydia in time.
Okay.
Pat, pat, pat. Stands up, starts walking again.
to the wet trout then.
The trout.
Trout. Yes.
You head to the trout. The trout is closed,
Fuck!
which is unusual, to say the least. Not quite as unusual as the guards that are standing outside the door and turning people away there.
Excuse me.
I'm very sorry. The trout's closed. You're gonna have to leave.
What happened?
Oh, that is classified information. Wait a second, is that Lucas?
Yes,
is.
it is Lucas, the hero of wherever the fuck we are. I don't remember where we
Oh
are.
my gosh, Lucas! Can't believe I get to meet you.
Just
wanted
pops up
to
his chest.
Yeah,
He
just
wanted
like
to investigate what was going on and help
Mhm.
the town, like he helped with that wizard.
sure he does. Well, hold on. The captain wanted to speak with you, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Take me to them.
he kind of like nudges the guy next to him, and he's all like, "Go get the captain." No, wait, I'll go get the captain. No, wait, I'm gonna stay here. You go get the captain. And so like that guy kind of scrambles off, and he kind of like putters and blabs while they're waiting for the captain to arrive. She evidently isn't that far. He's all like, "Yeah, well, apparently there was got to keep it hush hush. There was a murder actually last night. Unfortunately, quite a significant member of the community, a tiefling named Scython. He's the owner of the ferry.
Okay.
Quite a grisly scene. It was an ice dagger, evidently.
Oh, that's cold.
Oh, ice cold. But yes, we don't. We're not supposed to talk about that. Captain always said, "Don't give people bad news when they've got empty stomachs."
That's pretty good advice.
And as he says that, the captain shows up, and you can see her like just give him a glare, and he just kind of like goes like and like disappears into his breastplate. Shouldn't have been talking that much. And she arrives and says, "Thank you, Private." And she kind of like nudges Lucas and the rest of the group off to the side a little bit. And she says, "I've been meaning to speak with you, actually."
Me too.
We have this situation handled, but I was wondering if I could commission you and your adventuring party to take care of a matter that I don't necessarily have a handle on.
Sure. What's going on?
My jurisdiction goes as far as the docks. Yesterday morning, a couple of fishermen went out on a boat. These people are risking their lives every single day to keep the town fed, and they did not return. I want you to go out there and see if you can find them and bring back whatever's left of them.
Okay. Do you know around where they went? Like direction?
Yes. They have to go. The lake is almost completely frozen over. They basically have to carry their boat by foot out to where they can actually get it into any water. So it narrows down the searching area quite a bit to the areas of the lake that are actually not ice. But if you go directly north from here, you should be able to find their normal fishing grounds.
Okay, I will gather my adventuring party and we will check it out.
All right.
I turn around.
I'd very much appreciate that. Y'all be careful out there, okay?
We will. We are just the best adventurers.
All right. She
Yep.
turns. She's got like a really grim look on her face. Like This is a hard job, man. Like people here aren't happy, and she's just trying to keep the peace.
Captain, may I speak with you for a moment?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll take your kind to the side. What happened to the guests that are staying here? I found this.
This isn't a.
Oh, right.
It's not an inn.
Guys, an inn. So erase that question. Backtrack it. Would you happen to know where the proprietor of this establishment is?
She's being questioned at the moment. It's well known that she is a worshiper of Oral. And there are rumors that we don't like to talk about this because it implies that there is corruption in the city and in the leadership of the city. But there are rumors that Sidon had dealings with the people who ran the lottery and was influencing the outcome.
Interesting. All right. Thank you for your time. That is all the questions I've had, actually.
All right.
I thought I was gonna sneeze. No, I can't sneeze.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay,
Stage fright from the sneeze.
Yeah, but she's just gonna give her like a nod and like a pat on the shoulder, like it's a hard time, and just head back to her friends.
Yep. She'll basically kind of nod and say, we'll do the best that we can within the walls, and you do the best that you can outside them. She kind of slaps you on the shoulder.
It's slapping a piece of rock.
Yeah, just like whack.
Yeah.
It's cold too.
Yeah. All right, Captain. We'll see you when we come back with whatever news we.
I'll be counting on it.
Yes. Okay.
She gets back to work.
Come on, everyone, let's go. It's like ushering children out.
Kuori's kindergarten.
Lydia's just sort of like, you can see that she's really looking at Lucas like in a little bit of a new light, and she's just like genuinely like so proud of him. Like a single tear floats down her frosty cheek before freezing in place.
No time for tears. Let's go.
Okay.
The cold is no place for emotions.
I've missed you a lot, Kuori.
Of course you have.
To the lake, then?
To the lake.
To the lake. And I will move to the front of the party. My adventuring party.
Kuori tries not to take as long strides as she usually does to let him lead the party.
I'm on Snowball, so I can actually go a little faster than myself. Luckily.
Okay.
All right. To the lake. You head to the lake and the docks. And I'll say that the captain could have like given you like a written notice, basically that you can hand off to the boat rental place, and be all like, we are commandeering a vessel. It's official city business. Blah, 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 blah. It's a very blustery thing in my mind.
It's said like just like that. Yeah, there's no difference.
So you hand off that paperwork, which Kuori handles masterfully.
I'm master of paperwork right now.
Master of paperwork, and you procure a vessel which is to say their least waterlogged rowboat. And they drag it out onto the ice for you. They warn you that there's a little notch on this side of the boat, and like it's like this floorboard is a little bit squeaky, and you know it's not a new vessel by any stretch of the means, but it will do the job for you.
Okay. So how are we exactly to row a boat on ice?
On ice, good question. You don't. You got to pick it up and carry it across the ice until you get to water, and then you jump into the boat and push off.
Could we? Is there a way that between Kuori and Snowball we could have them like safely drag the boat?
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
I
across
could
the
just
ice?
pick it up.
Is it a big enough rowboat for all four of us and Snowball to fit in?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
For sure.
Well, Lucas and I are both small, but
Exactly. If you stack on top of each other in a trench coat, you'll be fine.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
you weren't there,
I've had
Lydia.
so much caffeine within the past hour.
I'm pretty sure you weren't there, Lydia, wasn't you? But I've pulled like 3 tons of iron to like a town once, so I can.
It's true. I'm pretty sure. Like, what you count as like a size category bigger for lifting and pulling.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that we'll hand wave this, and she like fucking picks up that boat and just like puts it over her shoulder. Just like, what's the problem? Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay.
It doesn't hit anyone because everyone's too short for her to accidentally hit.
It clocks Hart's antlers. Ah.
I'm so sorry, Hart.
Lucas,
Mhm.
do you think that I could try and ride Snowball for a bit? It looks really fun.
Yeah. Snowball's fine to carry both of us, right? Or it would be like a take turns thing.
I mean, like typically they like 2 people can get onto a horse, right?
Mhm.
And that's one size category larger than like normal humanoids. Like it's Snowball is one size category larger than you guys. So I imagine, yeah, it's fine. Also, it's a wolf, not a dog. Like it's big enough. I would say it's a little bit more iffy to like get into combat that way, but like just for a ride, it's fine.
Lydia weighs 37 pounds, if that helps.
Yeah, no problem.
I reach my hand.
Of grapes.
Bunk gnomes.
You go walking out across the ice. You can hear your feet kind of clinking across it. And you come across a couple of people who are like it's very sparse, but there are 1 or 2 people who have cut holes into the ice and are trying their spot at some ice fishing. Doesn't seem like there's been a lot of luck. As it turns out, knuckleheads tend to like deeper waters. So you continue on your way until you eventually get to the point where you find some dark icy water. You get about as far as you dare before Kuori throws down the boat, and you can all hop in.
Throw down your fuck yeah. Okay, everyone, get in.
Yeah, Hart. He'll get into the boat. He's very unstable every time he gets into a nautical vessel.
Kuori kind of holds him up by the scruff while he like tries to get in.
Just plop him down, and he'll just sit there.
Yeah. She's just start plopping people in the boat.
He just hasn't got his sea legs, unfortunately. All right, so y'all hop into the boat and push off and get to going. Unfortunately, when this lake has some ice flows that you need to navigate around, so I would like to have a survival check from one person. That is not Kuori because she's going to be rowing.
I'll do it.
to help guide her around the ice flows.
And guidance on myself.
Nice
Help
stack.
yourself.
This guidance stack.
Yeah.
It does, actually. I
I
believe
will
so.
also cast guidance on you then.
Not that I needed it, but let's see it anyways. 26 for survival.
Amazing. All right, Kuori, now give me an athletics check to navigate around the ice flow.
A what check? Sorry,
Athletics, please.
Okay, I spaced off entirely. 15.
Not bad. You are able to, with Hart's expert guidance, you are able to make your way around the ice flow. I would like a perception check from another person.
I can do that.
Not Hart and not Kuori, as
One of
y'all
the
are
gnomes.
keeping an eye out for any sign of these missing fishermen.
Well,
12. All right. It takes the better part of the day of you guys kind of going up and down the coast, and it becomes very clear that there is not a lot of open water to fish in here, and there are it is quite hazardous. There's a lot of ice to run into, and it's not necessarily all visible. It becomes concerning that it's entirely possible that these folks just hit an iceberg and went down like the Titanic. But you do know that there should be at least some sign of them somewhere. And so you go. It gets to about a little after noon before Lucas finally sees a series of caves in the cliffside, and a little bit off of the a little bit off of the shore. It is a longboat? No, a rowboat that is completely intact, but it is empty. And you almost missed it because there's a broken up stream of water that leads directly to these caves. It's weird that you missed it before because it's almost like the lake itself is pointing to them.
Do any of these caves look particularly familiar?
To Hart
Yeah.
in particular? Yes, actually. Yes, it does. There is a frozen river that is leading into the yawning mouth of a cave that you saw a giant disappear into in one of your dreams.
Yeah, I think Hart would probably just quietly say that one. And then we'll motion with his quarterstaff louder at the second time and just, we want that one.
Why?
How do you know?
It was in one of my dreams last night. There was a big, sad-looking man who ended up walking into that cave. And then there was actually a lot of really warm water. And then he laid down into it and he didn't end up getting back up.
Okay. Hart tends to have a lot of prophetic dreams.
An old
You
woman
told-
said that they were visions and that I was piggybacking off of her, but I don't know what either of those phrases mean.
Should always follow your dreams.
I don't want to.
They're usually
That's
very
okay.
disturbing.
That's understandable.
I
That can also be a dream.
I think you've told me a little bit about the dreams, Hart.
Mhm.
But if you think that's the cave we should check out, then let's do that.
I don't know if that's where if that's where the people went, but that's where the old giant went.
Okay.
The cave.
Please keep your arms and legs inside the boat at all times.
Okay.
Kuori picks up speed and rows up that little stream. You eventually come to a point where you start hitting like slushier and slushier ice, and then you have to kind of like pull it up onto the ice itself, up next to that other rowboat, and kind of looking inside it. You can see that there are empty ale bottles, just kind of rolling around in the bottom of it. And there is all of this fishing tackle and stuff like that. No fish, unfortunately. It seems that they didn't get a very good catch, but it's pretty clearly a fishing vessel. Hart, whilst you're looking at this boat, give me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Okay.
Yes, please.
Can do that, maybe. Does a 12 succeed at what I needed to do?
As you're looking at this boat, you can hear the clinking of bottles together, and kind of like the gruff breathing of weary men, and there's a faint smell on the wind, like something warm and strangely spicy. And then the moment all of those sensations appear, they're gone.
Yeah, I think Hart probably just like pauses looking at this boat for a while. And then as soon as the sensations disappear, he sort of like blinks a couple times, shakes his head. Can I investigate the boat?
In what way?
Just sort of like poke around. Like there's like the fishing tackle and stuff like that, but like is there anything that's been like caught underneath one of the seats? Are all of the bottles empty? What are the bottles of? That sort of thing.
You pick up one of the bottles and kind of give it a little sniff. And it smells like that weird brown water that you're not a huge fan of.
Oh. Don't like that. Yeah, I think Hart will like he'll put it back. It's definitely one of those like you see like a hand reach down, pull up, just sort of like looks at it a couple times, like Until Dawn, how they just do a terrible job of interacting with an object and then just right back to where he found it. Yeah, he doesn't really say much other than that, just sort of poking around because I'm assuming other people are poking around this boat or like tying off our boat kind of thing.
All right. As you approach this cave, the mouth of the cave that like spews forth this frozen river, it's quite large, large enough for a giant to walk into without, excuse me, having to stoop. But looking off to the left, you can see that there are actually like several more openings, and and when I say openings, I mean like up like maybe 20 or 30 feet up the cliffside. That there are more cave openings, and you would presume that they are a part of this same cave system. There is a high likelihood that they might interlock, intersect. There we go. With the cave that you're about to enter. And as you like take a tentative step out onto the ice that forms this river, it is unstable. to say the least. It's real slippery ice. It's unlike out on the lake where the wind was able to kind of like blow across it and kind of like wear it down and like makes it like rough it up a little bit so you could get some traction. This is just pure uncut black ice, and you're gonna have to make some checks to walk across it.
Is it because it's difficult terrain?
It's because it's slippery ice.
Okay, well, I wasn't sure if the Ranger Natural Explorer thing would help with that.
I don't know. I mean, like it says specifically difficult terrain, right?
While traveling for an hour or more in your chosen terrain, difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. So yeah, probably not.
If Lucas would have thought about it, there definitely would have been some crampons in the armory that you had access to, which are basically spikes that you can put onto your shoes and not have to make checks to go across ice.
I would think he would, having Arctic as the like favored terrain.
He seems to have a good head on his shoulders when it comes to like getting around in snow and ice and things. So like Lucas is busy getting his snow tires on. Looking around, what do you guys do?
So, do you think that we should go through this entrance or climb up to one of the smaller entrances?
I think that's probably what one of the fishermen thought before they went in there and got lost and died.
Right. So what do you think we should do so that we don't get lost and die?
Not die. Or get lost.
I'm really good at not getting lost.
Don't say things you don't mean.
What?
Okay.
I'm really good at
I
not
knew
getting
where
lost.
I was. I knew where I was the entire time. Just because you didn't doesn't mean I'm not good at not getting lost.
He has
As
a point, Kuori.
As you're standing outside of the caves, Hart, you are kind of like looking up at the sky as you are wont to do, and you notice that there are a couple of circling birds of prey, and you come to realize that they're a little bit larger than they should be. And I imagine you probably have like a little shock of fright as you like remember what horror the Peritons wrought. But there's something kind of wrong about their forms for that. And a shadow kind of falls across you briefly. And looking down, you can see that it definitely has outstretched wings and everything. But it is the unmistakable form of a woman.
We should go. We should get inside. We should move.
How would Lydia recognize anything that was going on?
You can give me a knowledge check of some sort.
History, Arcana, religion, just intelligence. What can I do you for?
History or Arcana?
All right.
I will take history, Arcana, survival, or nature.
Okay. Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to go with Arcana because I have a +6 for that. Natural 18, so 24.
That's pretty good. You remember growing up hearing stories about the flying women who lived along the coasts of the Lac, and sang songs to sailors to lure them in and gnaw on their bones. These are harpies. but close, very
The
close.
siren's cousin.
Yeah, you know,
The air cousin.
I like honestly, like when you look at like the actual stories, they're pretty close. They're about basically the same thing.
One is air, the other one's water.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Nice in the courtyard.
Nice in the
There's
courtyard.
fire and earth.
Yeah.
At one point, these 4 harpies live together in harmony.
But everything's
So the
changed.
fire
Our
harpy
lady
attacked.
Nice in the courtyard.
But yeah, you see them basically land on one of the rocky outcroppings, and they're a fair distance away. But like it's pretty clear that they're keeping an eye on you and trying to size you up and see if you're worth the trouble.
You should probably get inside.
Let's get inside, everyone.
Lucas has just his longbow ready.
Lucas, don't pick fights you can't win.
Well, no, but I'm gonna be ready if they do fight.
Okay, we're going to avoid the fight by walking into this cave.
Good for him.
Hopefully.
What a good kid. I love Lucas.
Me too.
Always prepared.
Always be prepared. All right. You go wandering into this cave. I would like acrobatics checks from everyone except for Lucas, who has some crampons on his shoes.
You guys should really get some of these. These are really nice.
The snowshoes?
Nah, crampons and snowshoes are 2 different things.
Okay.
You said acrobatics?
Like snowshoes are like tennis rackets, and crampons are like spikes for your feet.
Natural 20 from Lydia.
Oh, that's very good.
I got
For 21 total.
I got a 7.
7. All right.
Hart got 22.
Nice. Well done. Very proud of you. 7 bludgeoning damage as you hit the ice hard, Kuori.
My
Kuori, are you okay?
You're just taken completely off guard. As you step on a piece of uneven ice, there was a rock underneath it that was also frozen over.
I am fine. This is fine. Everything's okay.
If you've ever fallen on ice before, your ego hurts more than anything else. So, like, I swear to God, if anybody saw me, oh my God, people saw me.
She's gonna stand up and just let's keep going. Yes.
Okay.
As you walk along, it gets darker and darker. And those of you without dark vision are going to need some sort of light source.
I can cast light.
We all have dark vision, I believe.
Except
I don't have-
Kuori.
I don't have dark vision.
Oops.
Oh, look at me. I'm so fancy. I have dark vision. I can
Does-
see in the
she doesn't
dark.
even know her friend.
Is Kuori the only one without dark vision?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
she's having a bad day.
Yeah. I
I have a
don't
I have a
light,
torch.
actually.
I have a torch. We can
Yeah,
light
I think I have a
torch.
torch I can light up.
It is infrequent, but occasionally there is a break in the mountain, in the rocks, that lets in a little shaft of sunlight. But it is very infrequent. It's very sparse. You will need a light source for the
Yeah,
places in between.
I have a torch. I can light a
Cool.
torch, and I have a torch in the tinderbox.
Cool. And likewise, as you're walking along, you'll notice that like that torch will kind of like flap and waver a whole bunch as like a bunch of wind comes in through the caves, and it's like blowing on top of a like a soda bottle. Like you hear howling as wind just kind of blows across the mouths of the caves or the openings in the ceiling. It's kind of eerie. You just hear this echoing kind of howling almost constantly. But then it will get quiet and then like you'll hear something like farther off, like as the wind kind of changes direction and like hits the cliff sides in different areas.
Everyone just be prepared, like Lucas said.
As you're walking along, that torch will actually illuminate what appears to be ancient stick figure drawings, just kind of carved into the wall.
Petroglyphs.
Yes.
Yeah.
A good word. I like it. I use this now.
It's my word now.
Tuck that away. That one's mine now.
I think once we get into the caves, Lucas would put away his longbow and pull out 2 short swords.
Hart is just gonna look at the drawings that are on the cave wall, or like carved into the cave wall. Is it just like stick figures? Are they doing anything?
They all appear to be walking in one direction, and they are walking towards what appears to be an inverted V. Like so.
A mountain. Got it. I got good insight.
I try so hard.
I can read pictures like a motherfucker, but give me letters.
Yep. As I like, which of you has the highest history? It's gotta be Lydia, right?
History? I have a +5 in history.
Oh shit, it's Kuori. Duh. I'm sorry. I literally made the same mistake as the small-minded NPCs in this game. It's just me getting into character, I promise. Give me a history check, Kuori. Prove me right.
Would it be obvious that she's looking
I rolled
at these?
a 5, so 10. You just had to say prove me.
I created this world. You are subject to my whims. Okay. Looking at this, you have an idea that this has some sort of significance, but you haven't done any research on this particular topic.
Corey's gonna stop for a moment and ask Hart or whoever to hold the torch, and she's going to squat down and take out a notebook and a really, really pretty scrimshaw pen and start kind of like copying the drawing.
The drawing is very large, by the way. The ceiling of the cave is like 50 feet up.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, then she's just standing.
This drawing like spans the entirety of the wall, like almost all the way up to the ceiling.
Okay, but I could like scale it down and draw it on a page if I wanted to.
No, you have to sketch it 1 for 1.
Okay.
You can scale it
I'll
down.
do that once you start building Gundams 1 for 1, Steven.
I am trying! I need to go to Odaiba!
Okay. But yeah, she will sketch what she sees and we'll take back the torch with a little spasiba.
All right. As you do so, you hear a low growl. And it kind of, it kind of spooks you for a moment, and like you turn around and like you cast the light of that torch onto Snowball, and you can see that she is like low to the ground. Her hackles are up, and she's staring with these wide eyes deeper into the cave and just growling at something that's beyond the torchlight that you can't see.
I'm gonna do something stupid.
Okay.
Hart will give you guidance to do something stupid.
I'm going to cast Firebolt at the ceiling towards the darkness.
All right.
To kind of light up the area for a moment.
Gotcha. Yep.
It's a cantrip, so it doesn't cost me much.
So you cast Firebolt in that direction. It goes like that fire just goes deeper and deeper into the cave,
Mhm.
and it just keeps on going and disappears into the darkness. As it travels down the cave, it illuminates a ring of wall as it goes, and for a split moment you see it, like, first of all, you see the reflective eyes of a predator in the darkness, and then as the light travels over it, for a brief second, you see the clear image of another wolf, likewise with its hackles up, glaring directly at Snowball, and it is just growling in the darkness, and it seems that wolf and Snowball have like noticed each other, and they are not fans of each other.
Play nice.
Do Hart, you can talk to animals, right? That's how Snowball brought you to me.
Well, no, he actually let me hold on to him for a little bit, and then I walked through a crowd. And but in this moment, yes, I should be able to speak with animals.
Lydia will just like reassuringly try to pet Snowball and just like, it's okay, girl, it's okay.
Yeah, Snowball is just like bristling, just like, and then like turns around and turns around and just like completely drops the all of the anger and bravado and like licks your hand and then turns around and starts growling again.
Yeah, Hart will cast Speak with Animals. Just call into the cave, I guess. Excuse me, we don't mean you any harm. We're just looking for a few folks.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, sad puppy noises. Give me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Boy.
Guidance?
That's not bad. That's an 18.
Okay. The growling continues, but through this growling, it conveys to Hart that he smells like prey, and it's awfully convenient for you to walk right into his cave.
Well, I understand that, but if you take a quick moment to realize that the people I am here with are also not prey, you will find out that we outnumber you. Our pack is larger than yours.
That is, you're speaking his language. I mean, like literally, but also figuratively.
Yeah.
Like wolves respect numbers more than anything else. You can tell that he's hungry and desperate, but between you and Snowball, you're basically able to talk him down enough for him to just kind of like back away out of the torchlight. And there's one last flash of his eyes before you hear his claws just kind of like skittering across the ice, and he disappears deeper into the cave.
Hart lets out like a big sigh. Just, thankfully, there was more of us than there were of them. They just need to be reminded of that every once in a while. He was thinking with his tummy.
That makes sense.
Let's hope he doesn't have more friends deeper in the cave, though.
I also would like to hope that he does not have more friends deeper in the cave. In any case, Kuori, you should probably go first. They respect people who are much bigger and stronger than me.
Walk first. Deeper into the cave.
All right. You walk along deeper into the cave. Long bouts of silence, punctuated by low groans that eventually like turn into shrieking wails, either way deeper into the cave or uncomfortably close to you, or very very far behind you. And you're moving along until you eventually come to a large, glittering wall of ice. And it at first appears to be a dead end, but then like you move the torch around and you realize that you've come to a waterfall that has been frozen solid.
Question, DM question: is the cave made entirely of ice, or is it more like rocks on the side?
There are rocks and such, but the like there are like I will say the walls are made of rock.
Okay.
But the floor is made out of nothing but ice.
Like it at one point it would have been like a cave, waterfall, and lake kind of thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure if the ice went all the way up the walls,
or if there was if
it was rock.
Rock on the sides. There are no rock on the sides, unfortunately.
Okay.
It'd be very convenient and helpful.
Well, this used to be a waterfall. I wonder if there's anything behind it.
If we look up,
video game logic.
You look up, it seems that the cave continues after it.
How high up?
How high up? That's a good question. These modules tend to have very exact numbers, and I could make up the number, but I refuse to. It's 10 feet.
Okay. Kuori, can you throw me?
No, but I can climb up.
Kuori's like 8 feet tall, right?
Yeah.
You could literally just lift both of us up there.
Just push them.
Yeah. I can lift you there, but I'm not going to throw you.
Is the waterfall solid, or can you like see water moving behind it where it's like the first?
There is no movement of water. It's all frozen
and
completely through.
Is there any way we can like see through it? Is there anything like behind where the water? You know how like sometimes there's a cave behind a
like a chest.
I like the way that you're thinking.
I don't know if the water's see-through enough though when it's frozen.
When it's frozen and like when water is frozen and it's stationary, it's very clear. But like when it's frozen in motion, it's typically frozen in layers. Like frozen waterfalls are a thing, but it takes much longer, and they do have a very cloudy nature
because they freeze very slowly and then all at once.
Yep. I do need
perception?
A perception check if you want to try and look with your special eyes.
My special eyes. Not great. 13.
13. You peer into the waterfall. And you sense nothing but the water that once was.
Okay. All right, Kuori. Can I have a boost, please?
She just kind of...
I'm gonna ask for athletics checks from everyone. Everybody who's getting a boost from Kuori gets advantage.
Can I use my physical dice, since my digital dice have been very mean to me?
That's
tonight?
Fine. I've always been a proponent of physical dice. I use physical dice when I'm DMing.
Okay.
Modified 20.
Guidance on you, Kuori, from Lydia.
Are we all just throwing around guidance now?
There's 3 of you with guidance now.
Natural 19. So
should never fail.
Dirty 20 from Lydia.
Cool. But 2 dirty 20s.
Did not think to guide myself. So 11.
Lucas. All right.
18.
18. Okay, nice. So Hart, you scramble up and like you get up, look around with your dark vision, and you can see directly above you there is a natural kind of like bridge formed over the water. And at the end of that bridge off to the right, you can see the telltale signs of a campsite. And that's like the first thing that you notice. The water, or rather the stream goes further on, but like above you there appears to be a place where somebody stayed before. Then Lydia kind of gets plopped up next to you. And Kuori, you go to like throw Lucas up there, and he falls just a little bit short. He scrambles at the edge, and then he slides down the end of the waterfall.
Try to like just catch him.
Yeah, you catch him. But as he is scrambling to try and get down, or like, to like catch himself against this very slippery ice, the crampons of his boots kind of like crack a little bit against the ice. And you catch him. And like, there's like a moment of like, oh, it's fine, we got him. And then you hear a like, crick, crick, crack, crunk. And a portion of the waterfall falls away, and ice just kind of like pours out and scatters around you. And there is a like just a as cold air just kind of like blows past you, Kuori. You're holding Lucas and kind of shielding him against that.
Yeah.
And you like as the ice and the dust just kind of stop scattering, Hart, you and Lydia can like turn around, kind of poke your heads around to witness this as well. But there is only darkness behind the waterfall. And I imagine you probably dropped your torch to catch Lucas.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of looking into this darkness. You see movement behind there. It's strange. At first it seems kind of humanoid, but it doesn't move correctly. Like the center of mass will like move in a direction as though it's like swaying as it walks, but the limbs that come off of it kind of flow behind it, like streamers. And it comes closer and closer until finally it reaches the torchlight, and its body shines and shimmers almost like diamonds, and it literally flows towards you. And I think, Kuori, you're well read to recognize this as a water elemental. And it has been awakened, and it is angry. And that's where we're going to go on break.
Cool.
There was something fun, but not a good thing, a bad thing.
Oh, there was no Zelda chest noise this time. And with that, we're going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly head over to indooradventure.redbubble.com. Pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon. And hello, everybody. And we're back. We have returned from our break. And before we get started, man, guys, I'm going to let you all know I've been feeling a little tired lately. I've been feeling like my mornings just haven't been cutting it lately, but that's probably because I'm going to be running out of coffee soon. Liz, do you know where I could possibly go if I could get some more coffee? Like, I'm looking for some. I want it to be tasty. A lot of things that I do in my life are D&D related. Do you know, like, where can I go to get to, like, merge these two?
Well, Indoor, I actually have a solution for you.
Really?
In fact, our friends over at Found Familiar Coffee, which is a D&D and tabletop RPG themed coffee company run by two amazing people, a husband and wife team, Aaron and Lindsay. They're just the best people. Have some great D&D themed coffee that you can get all from ethically sourced, and it features art from the tabletop role-playing community. things like regular Knoll, Rogue's Panache, Meta Magic, some great coffee for your morning. And the best part is that if you go to foundfamiliar.com/jabroni, Jabroni TV, or use the coupon code Jabroni at checkout, you get 10% off. So you get yourself some good beans from even better people, and also support D&D.
Now, that 10% off code, does that also count towards the t-shirts and stickers and other merch that they have on their website, or is it just
definitely
coffee?
does. Anything on their website, it also stacks with any sales that they are currently having. So you can sign up for their informational newsletter thing, and they'll let you know when there's sales going on, and it stacks with that 10% code.
Wow.
And there's no expiry on it.
Mayhaps after this is done, I will have to put in an order. Thank you. All right. Well,
After, I'm doing it right now.
with the internet TM, it's never been easier. That's the real trademark right there. All right. That's it for this break where I have taken Liz completely off guard. But man, you rolled with it. Danae, take us away.
You took me off guard too. I thought I was getting Stevened.
Nope.
I was like, wait a second. What day is it?
I am a verb now.
Steven! Yes. When we last left off, a creature made entirely out of animated elemental energy in the form of water was starting to pull itself out of a broken, frozen waterfall that it just cracked out of like an egg, like a geode. It's going to step forward a little bit, and Kuori, you see it kind of regard you. It's got like a long face. I would almost say lupine, but like it ends in more of like a beak shape than anything else. And it just kind of like peers at you like out of the side of its face, and then it looks down at that torch, and then it just steps on it and puts it out.
Rude.
For a moment, you are plunged into darkness, and you can hear like the quiet babbling of a brook. But it's you've never heard a brook sound like the pleasant babbling of a brook sound sinister before. Because you know that this thing has murderous intentions. For a moment, your eyes have to adjust to the darkness. There are still shafts of light that are pouring down periodically throughout this cave. So when you find yourself in initiative, you will still be able to see with dim lighting. Is there anything that you want to do before you find yourself in a combat situation?
You guys okay down there?
Well, and Lucas can see because Lucas has dark vision, right? And I'm still in Corey's arms.
Yes.
I'm holding you gently, shielding you from the ice and the cold.
Could I cast a spell before initiative starts?
So it's. Go ahead.
I think that we have to roll into initiative, and then just like if you happen to get a better initiative than it, then yes, you get to cast a spell before it goes.
I'm just gonna look up, like, not my eyes are still on this thing, so I'm gonna like just call out. It's like, no.
Nope.
Not okay.
No.
Okay, so initiative time then, yeah?
Yes, please. Just nope. Chuck Desta.
The coffee I want to slow down. Guess
Yes,
I'll
Franklin?
just have to keep a lookout.
I see.
Franklin also wants some coffee.
No.
11.
No.
11.
18 from Lydia.
18 from Lydia.
16.
16 for
Lucas.
Lucas. You will get to go before him.
14.
And then 14 for Kuori. All right. And then I select, then I sort the range, make sure to go Z to A so that the first ones go first. All right. Lydia, with a movement that's a bit too quick, the water elemental just snuffs that torch, and the cave is plunged into darkness. Your dark vision kicks in. However, you see everything in black and white. You see this water elemental advancing on Kuori and Lucas. What do you do?
Seeing this and standing at the top of the waterfall next to Hart, Lydia will clasp her raven talisman that holds her furs together, and you see just like a quick fluttering of wind kick up behind Lydia and come through her hair as this swarm of silver feathers wrap around Hart, Lydia, and Lucas as she casts Bless. So the three of you are now #blessed and can add a D4 to all attacks and saving throws for the next minute. So
The three of us, or you and the boys?
No, the three of you, not Lydia.
Okay.
Lydia is the only one who is not #blessed.
Okay, not #blessed. Got it.
But yeah, you see as this sort of ethereal feathers float around you for a moment before settling, and you feel slightly invigorated.
Last more than 4 hours. Please consult your.
And and then Lydia will stay above the waterfall, but try to position herself in a place where she can see everything that's happening, but stay at the top of the waterfall.
All right.
That's my turn.
That is Lydia. Lucas.
So Lucas's eyes will flash blue, and I will cast Fairy Fire on it.
Ooh, that's exciting. It has to do a dex save, I believe.
Thank you so much.
13.
That's a natural 1 for a 4. I don't think that makes it.
Nope. So you can now see it. It's now glowing blue.
Normally, fairy fire would kind of like lay on the surface of on skin, and like kind of create like this halo of light where you can see things in the darkness. But I imagine that you blast that magic out towards it, and it just kind of permeates and diffuses into the water. So like you can see the lights just sort of moving around within it. Thank you, Frankie, for helping. All right. Anything else for you, Lucas?
Nope, because my only bonus action is also concentration. So
Awesome. Kuori.
So is this like Pokemon logic where fire is bad against water?
There is no Pokemon logic in D&D. There's never any Pokemon logic ever in D&D.
Okay.
But you can give me an Arcana check if you like. Frankie, god damn.
Frankie's just really excited about this Arcana check.
Oh, so I just want to know.
I know, me too, Frankie.
Tell me, is it super effective?
As soon as Frankie heard there were water elementals, that's when he clocked in. Like, oh, I haven't seen one of those in a while.
I have rolled 3 13s in a row.
Please stop rubbing the arm of my microphone. That's got to be so loud.
It's not that loud.
it's not too bad.
18.
Frankie, you are welcome. Frankie.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, yes, now we rub on the microphone.
You are welcome here, Frankie.
He ignores me all day, and the moment I start streaming.
18 for Arcana.
18 for Arcana. You saw the way that snuffed out the torch. Fire seems to especially not bother it.
Cool. So great. Okay, so I know Eldritch Knights are supposed to be like fighters first and then magic casters, but fuck that shit. I'm gonna cast some magic.
Okay, feel free.
Oh yeah.
Show me some magic.
So
You magic man. Gonna touch this hot fire. It's magic man.
I'm gonna cast Chromatic Orb. Seems to be my favorite for now.
You
Chromatic
have
orb is
advantage.
Advantage?
Yes, because he's got fairy fire on him.
Okay, so I'll take
And a
that
D4 from Bless.
Oh, amazing.
Set you up for success.
18.
Sport classes, baby.
That is a 22 to hit.
That definitely hits.
And it's going to be lightning
Okay.
because water and lightning don't mix good.
Yeah, no, water and lightning, very, very frightening me.
But I don't hate these rolls. That's going to be 17 points of lightning damage to it.
Ow.
Amazing.
As she's holding.
There's
I would like
some
to think-
crazy light shows going on right now.
Yeah, I would like to think it kind of it's meant to look that ass. Like you see again, the same thing you saw on the street. Her eyes kind of start have that bluish whitish electric glow. And you see from her tattoos the same kind of sparks of lightning come out, and it goes all the way down her arm as she throws the lightning at this thing. And it's meant to look really badass, but she's also like hip holding Lucas on one side. You know that mom hold where you have like a baby on your hip?
I'm familiar.
Yeah, it's like that. So it looks really cool until you realize she's baby holding Lucas.
It's this orb of ball lightning just flies towards it and is enveloped by its liquid form. And then you see a flash, and then like lightning just kind of like emanates and goes out in like in concentric circles throughout its form, making light play across the walls of the cave. Hart, it's your turn, if nothing else from Kuori.
Nope, that's it.
Cool.
Can I see this thing at all? Like, we're on top of the waterfall.
Oh, absolutely.
Below? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see this thing. You're looking down. The waterfall is only 10 feet high. So you can like basically peek over the edge of the waterfall,
Okay.
and this thing's lit up like a Christmas tree.
You said it's 10 feet high?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Hart is... This thing's lit up like a Christmas tree, so he's just gonna cast Guiding Bolt on it. Or,
With advantage and a D4.
Now I'm trying to think. I think Hart would... Yeah, he'd cast Moonbeam. He wouldn't cast Guiding Bolt. So it needs to make a con save.
Alrighty. Goodness. This guy is not rolling very well on anything. 3.
Okay. It fails and takes 10 points of radiant damage.
Okay. Inside of that moonbeam, eh?
And I think, like, you guys watching Hart do this, he has, I think Kuori would be the only one who would see it. He's doing a lot of the, like, same movements that you saw Ravison do when she cast Moonbeam. Like, he seems to be, like, mimicking her in this moment.
As it turns out, you all, like, literally all of you did something that, like, involved light. So this thing is like a disco ball at this point. And like now there's just like a beam of light that's like shining down on it like a spotlight. You see it kind of like curl up, almost snake-like in response to this. And it kind of whirls, turns around, looks at you, Hart, and you see it just sort of like you know, like how you can see a droplet of water, the way that it will stick to other drops of water or onto walls and stuff like that, that cohesion.
Yes.
It slaps onto the ice of the waterfall in the exact same way, and it flows up the forms of the wall of ice that the waterfall has formed.
So
and
it's doing its turn, right?
yes.
Okay, at the start of its turn, it also needed to make another Constitution save, or else
That's
take more
fine.
damage.
Pretty sure it makes it this time. 17.
17 does save. It takes half of 15.
Okay. Yeah. It slurps onto that waterfall, and then, like, in an instant, it's just like up on top of the waterfall and looming over you, Hart. It is going to attempt to attack you. An 11 does not hit you, I'm pretty sure.
That is correct.
It strikes like a cobra, and you manage to dart to the side. The last second, you are sprayed with freezing cold water as it just kind of blasts its face into the ground next to you, and just splashes itself everywhere. And you feel the water that's on you like kind of like move and pull and then suck itself back off of you and into its form as it forms back up again. Lydia, it's your turn.
Seeing that the creature has now jumped up on the same level as us, is it looking like it's been like
Hart?
Is it looking hurt? How hurt is it looking?
I mean,
for water, lit up water.
It's shining brightly. I will say it's like a 4th edition thing to tell you how hurt they are. Like typically, like, you know, in 5th edition, you're supposed to be hush hush. Ooh, you don't know how hurt it is. It's bloodied. Okay. I'm a 4th edition DM. It's fine. I'll tell you.
Okay. You actually see Lydia take out from her pouch this small, very ornately carved scrimshaw bell, and she shakes it once as she casts Toll the Dead at the creature. So I need a wisdom saving throw.
So many
please.
saves from him tonight. I'm going to use a different dice.
It needs to beat a 14.
Well, it does not, because it doesn't have a wisdom modifier, and it gets a 10.
Beautiful. So I need it to take 7 points. 7 points of necrotic damage.
All right.
As everyone hears sort of this bell that you expect, you know what a bell sounds like, and you definitely expect to hear a bell, but it more sounds like the creaking of like a really old ship as the sound echoes across the ice. And that is it for Lydia's turn. She'll try to like make sure she's not in melee range of the creature. But other than that, that's my turn.
All right. Lucas, it's your turn.
How close is Kuori to the waterfall?
I suppose that's up to Kuori.
Is it a reasonable jump for Lucas?
Yeah, I mean, she would have been right up on it because they picked up the people and kind of plopped them on top. So
Okay.
I would say they're right at the edge. Like, you could probably jump off or like climb up to her shoulder and just boop.
Okay, I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to jump onto the top of the waterfall. I'm sure that'll be easy and go super well.
All right.
And then if I'm able to do that, I will attack with my short swords.
Give me an athletics check.
Good. +0.
To hop.
I'm so strong.
I believe in you, Lucas.
You shouldn't. Yeah? That's a natural one.
Lucas!
Well.
Lucas.
His new favorite enemy is waterfalls.
Just climbing anything.
Just as it turns out, it's just as hard the second time, if not more, because like now there's like a time limit and there's all this pressure. You just like glom onto the side of it and slide back down. You can still see the water weird if you'd like to like do anything about it, but you're not going to get up there.
Is it? How much of my turn is it to put away my short swords and pull out my longbow, though?
You can basically just throw your short swords on the ground and get out the longbow, but the short swords are now on the ground.
Okay, I will do that then, and I will attack with my longbow. I will not use the die that just rolled a 1. That's much better. Does a 26 hit?
Yes, it certainly does.
God, I hoped so.
Frankie's excited about that.
It'd be 8 damage.
8 damage. All right. Anything else for you?
Nope, that'll be it.
All right, Kuori.
I can see this thing, right?
Yes.
And it would take my whole action to climb up there, right?
Oh, hold on. Is Fairy Fire something that you save from again at the end of your turn?
I don't think so. Let me double check.
When does Fairy Fire go away?
It's concentration for me for up to a minute.
Okay. Carry on. Remember that you guys still have advantage.
Yeah. Well, would it take me my action to climb up there?
It would not. It would be a part of your movement, but I'd still make you do an athletics check.
Okay.
Frankie.
I know, Frankie. I'm trying to make a decision.
Please, I'm trying so hard to make a very scary and engaging game for these people. Go on.
No, you're fine. She's going to, she's going to try something. So she's going to use her action to use lightning lure. And they're going to have to make a strength 13.
Okay.
Save.
That's an interesting idea. Kind of like it. I throw out these dice.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Satan,
Yeah.
are you happening to be pulling this individual towards a moonbeam that is still up near you?
Yeah. I want to say sit back down where you were, sir.
Is it the first time you enter the moonbeam?
Yes, but however, forced movement does not count towards when you enter into a place for the first time a turn. It's just for the start of their next turn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. It fails with an 8.
Okay, that is a 1d8. That is 6 points of lightning damage.
All right.
And the wording of this is weird.
It fell 10 feet. It's what, like
a
D6
they're,
per 10 feet?
They're pulled up to 10 feet in a straight line towards you, and then take 1d8 lightning damage if it's within 5 feet of you.
Right.
Assume it is.
But it was also up on top of a waterfall,
Yeah.
and you yanked it down off of there. So it would have fallen 10 feet. It would take additional falling damage.
Okay.
Steven, is it a D6 per 10 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. It takes some falling damage.
Yeah. It was 6 lightning to whatever else.
Yes.
So all you see is like almost a whip-like lightning just kind of wrap around her arm, but she, instead of throws it like a whip, she does throw it, but to entangle this thing, and just pulls and drops it down to the ground, and she says, "You stay."
Damn. All right. Hart, what would you like to do on your turn?
Hart will, still up top, like this creature showed up, tried to bap him, and then just got yoinked away. So Hart is going to cast Thorn Whip.
Okay.
on them. So let's see.
Hey, can I
Just
try to
gonna play
yoink it
tug of
back?
war.
Yeah. That's a 21 without adding the bless. And then if the creature is large or smaller, they get pulled 10 feet towards me.
All
Do you
right.
not want it to be in the moonbeam?
I'm good with it. Actually, I'll have it be pulled back up and then I'll move the moonbeam towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How much damage is it for this thorn
is
whip?
1d6, so I dealt a total of 5 points of piercing damage.
The two of you pull this thing in half. Like basically Kuori is still holding it with the lightning lure, and then Hart like comes around with the thorn whip. It wraps around its glowing body, this thing doesn't seem to be capable of any sort of like vocal sounds, but you can see that within its liquid body, there's kind of like the slush and ice of a half frozen body of water, and the two of you just, and the top half of it just slumps to the floor, and you see it turn into a puddle of water and almost immediately begin freezing. We're out of initiative.
Kuori will shake off the lightning alert, and you kind of see it, instead of just disappearing, kind of travel up her hand and settle onto her tattoos.
Nice. Hart just sort of like shakes his quarterstaff towards the moonbeam. Like he's not sure how to turn it off, but he's doing his best.
Is everyone okay? Is anyone hurt?
I'm
That'll be
fine.
okay.
I almost that thing got really close and then like threw some really cold water on my face. It woke me up a little bit. But other than that, I'm fine.
Okay. Lucas, you okay?
Yep, I'm good. I fell, but other than that, I'm good.
Are you hurt? Are you hurt, Lucas? Do you need any healing? I can heal.
Oh, I can heal too. I'm good.
Okay, just making sure. Kuori, let's get Lucas up here, and Lydia will like lean down so that Lucas is not having to like make any sort of check as Kuori like pushes him up to try and just like literally yoink him up the waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to make you guys roll any further. With helping each other out, you are able to get back up the waterfall.
How hard is it to get Snowball up there?
How hard is it to get Snowball up there? Kuori need only say up, and Snowball will like basically springboard off of her knee and then off of her shoulder and then up onto the top of the waterfall.
Amazing.
I'm
Snowball's
gonna
a good-
give it some dry meat from my rations as a treat. Good
What are the pronouns for Snowball?
He him.
He,
oh,
him.
good boy.
All right, sorry. I've been saying she all this time. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Snowball.
I'm sorry, Snowball. All right. You find yourselves at the top of the waterfall. The stream continues onward. However, Hart did spot a sort of rock bridge going over the stream and the clear signs of a campsite up there.
Light up another torch, as I cannot see.
Hart would, if it's a camp, like if it's like a campsite rather than you having to keep using torches for this, Hart can cast Create Bonfire.
Oh.
Yeah, just place a light source here.
All right. You're able to find some like fairly easy hand and footholds to kind of climb your way up to that campsite. And you look down, you see a place for a fire, and you can basically just go and then like and a nice warm fire like springs up from that place and illuminates this little bit of cave actually. There is a kind of short and stout bedroll. And there is a diary that actually appears to be kind of scattered about. And otherwise, no signs of any belongings or living aside from that. But yeah, a book with some loose papers.
May I pick up the book because I am in fact a book nerd?
Yes, you pick up the book as a book nerd. You are. You guys haven't figured out a way to read Dwarvish yet, have you?
I have comprehend languages.
Ah, hell yeah. Okay, this is a journal written in Dwarvish.
It's another spell slot, but hey.
When in doubt.
Can you cast comprehend languages as a ritual? Or wait, hold on.
I think that's only specific classes.
Yeah, Eldritch Knight might not be able to cast as a ritual. I think that's a feat, though.
It is a feat, I believe. Ritual cast. I've been thinking about it.
It's we will Knights in the Courtyard this later, certainly.
But I will cast comprehend languages. So for the next minute, oh god, wait, for the next hour. There you go. That minute.
You'll be able to understand languages other than your own.
Yes.
All right. Written on these loose pages are an anonymous dwarf's musings about the cave complex. You find a few noteworthy passages, which I'm going to paste to you on the Frostmaiden chat, and I'm going to read them aloud for you. These caves are sacred to the frost giants. The carvings on the wall suggest the giants came here to drown themselves. Did they use the hot spring as a sacrificial pool? The wind truly sounds like a wailing woman. One could easily go mad in this place. I think there's someone living in these caves. Shortly after discovering the hot spring, I heard what sounded like a granny singing. When the song ended with a shrill laugh, dread sunk its teeth into me. Ye gods, that horrible cackle. I shall leave these caves in the morning and never return.
Oh, they never returned, all right.
I'm pretty sure that's what he did. It's fine. Yeah, he left the caves, right?
Yeah.
Kuori will read these things out loud to the group. Okay. Well, there's definitely something in these caves, that's for sure.
They did use it as a pool if my dream meant anything. There are a lot of bones in there.
And there was in fact a place where they came to die then.
Mm-hmm.
But what concerns me more is this granny that they speak of.
Hart, give me a wisdom save.
I wonder why. Is it against being charmed?
No.
Damn it.
If this is less than 48 seconds after we finish fighting the water elemental, you're still blessed.
Hey, guess what? It doesn't fucking matter. That's a 1, broski.
All right. Hart, everything around you seems to go dark for a moment. It's like the darkness starts far away from you and then rapidly closes in until it basically fills the walls and it like makes all of your friends disappear. It swallows your friends and it eventually just kind of like comes in and stops right underneath your feet. And there's nothing but you and the campfire. And you're just kind of looking around in the darkness.
Oh, I'm hyperventilating at this point. Fucking A.
You can hear the howling of the caves. And there is the unmistakable sound of a granny singing off in the distance.
I think Hart just like looks in that general direction and just...
Yeah. Kuori and friends, Hart is having a time.
Corey tried to very gently put a hand on his upper arm and just kind of. Actually, she's gonna very gently just hold his face, like, Hart.
Does he do this a
I
I
lot?
feel like his eyes are just like kind of like darting back and
Darting,
forth. Yeah.
Snowball would curl up next to him,
Okay.
like nuzzle him.
Yep.
It's normal for him, Corey.
I think that the moment that Kuori puts her hands on your face, you snap back and you're here.
And she's close. She's holding your face very gently.
I feel like Hart kind of just like shakes his head and like pushes back a little bit, just like too close.
Okay.
No want. Did anyone else hear that?
Hear what?
She was singing. She was doing that thing that one guy in the town did before he lured us into the back room and then told us about the lady in white. She was like doing the performance thing.
I didn't hear any singing, Hart. I'm sorry.
It's a lonely song.
Did it sound like it was coming from deeper within the cave? Where did it sound like it was coming from?
Points with his quarterstaff in the direction.
Well,
It sounded like it was coming from in there.
I think that we should all be on guard, but we have to keep going.
But mine's sharp. If this thing. tries
Here,
to-
Hart. And Lydia will sort of like place her hands up on Hart's shoulders, and you see as some soft ethereal snow curls around his antlers, and she will cast, what is it called again? Sorry, just a second. Vigilant Blessing. So you have advantage on your next initiative roll, so that you can be as prepared as you need to.
Hooray!
We've got your back.
Hooray.
It's strange that it seems to only be affecting you.
Well, I don't know. I have really good ears.
You do? And she'll kind of just poke out one of the ears.
Wait,
They're
wait.
very adorable.
Do that like flick thing.
Yeah.
They're very adorable. Now, just stick close, okay?
And Hart will just be very close to Kuori at this point.
Mm-hmm. You continue onward. At this point, it has become quite dark as the windows to the outside world have begun to sort of wink out one by one. Not in any malicious way. You're just kind of walking past them, and there's less of them. And until they're just pinpricks in the ceiling, like little stars, like holes in the sky. And you eventually come to a place where it's become quite cramped, to the point where wide-shouldered Kuori kind of has to turn sideways to continue walking. And she puts her torch out in front of her to kind of sidle along as she's going, and the breeze through here becomes stronger and stronger until finally it and puts the torch out. Now, of course, all of you can still see in the dark. It's in black and white.
Except Corey.
Yeah, Kuori is, like annoyed to be in darkness again. Probably starts getting ready to light that torch once more and protect it more from the wind this time.
Seeing, sorry to interrupt. Seeing that the torch has gone out again, Lydia will have an epiphany moment, and and reach over from Kuori's back where she is on her little pedestal, and very softly place her hands over Kuori's eyes. And when she removes them again, Kuori has dark vision. I forgot that I can share my dark vision for 4 hours.
Support classes. Woo!
So it lasts for 1 hour. I could do it.
fair.
I could do it once per rest or cast a spell, use a spell slot to share it again.
This is a very complex game of guess who. Guess who? It's dark vision.
Peekaboo, you can see. Forgot I could do that earlier. So sorry,
Guys.
Very strange.
my bee.
I thought you were going to I don't know, murder me or something.
Kuori, you're kind of blinking to get your bearings again and get used to this dark vision thing. You're kind of looking around. There's no color. That's kind of strange. And you look further down the hallway, and you can see a distant light kind of moving in the same way that a light would if it were coming from a lantern.
I don't like this.
And farther down you hear, "Hello? Hello? Is there anyone in there?"
Does Hart hear this?
Yeah, all of you do.
Hart will call back to them.
No.
Yeah. Did you hear the lady's song too? Well, if they're in danger, we should help them.
What? And if they're the lady that sung?
Then I can ask her why she sounds so lonely.
You are too good for this world.
Oh, come this way.
We're just gonna have her sword out. Just, as you do.
You hear, "Come this way."
Yeah.
Okay, she'll go. I assume Corey's leading some about what we've talked about. The group. She will go. She's like, if I get fucking murdered because Hart decided to call out to this lady, I'm gonna be so angry.
See, I imagine that Kuori was going first, and this it was starting to get very tight through here, and Hart just kind of scrambled a little bit underneath her to get through.
Don't, Hart. Don't.
That distant light is still bobbing, and you can now see that light is actually attached to a lantern. It is inside it, and you can see that there is a long, slender hand coming out of an elegantly draped sleeve of a nicely dressed, very pretty young woman off in the distance. The light of the lantern illuminates her features, and she's very pale and very pretty. She's still quite a distance from you, and she kind of beckons towards you and says, "Be careful, don't slip on the ice."
And Hart will pause, and he'll reach into his coat pocket, and he will pull out a snickerdoodle. And he will say, "We've been really careful not to slip on any of the ice. Here, I brought this for you." And he'll offer what he thinks is the lady in white a snickerdoodle.
Oh, that's so sweet. You see her kind of literally go aw, tip her head and a hand come up to her chest, and she tips that lantern down a little bit, and as the light from the lantern no longer illuminates her face, you can see kind of a sheen go across her face, and what the lantern shows and what your dark vision shows are in conflict with one another. And she pulls that lantern back up. And she says, you have to be careful moving around in these caves. You never know what you might find.
I'm sorry, who are you?
And as you say that, you're kind of stepping forward behind Hart. You hear a crunch underfoot, and you look down, and you see that you've just stepped directly into a rib cage. And like the rest of you look around, and you are in a room filled with bones. There are bones of animals in here. There are also bones of humanoids in here. There are bones of enormous humanoids in here. And there's kind of a shifting and a jumbling behind you as some very large bones begin to move. And Hart, as I imagine that like you're still focusing on what you imagine to be the lady in white.
She's just hungry.
She takes a step to the side, and that light disappears. And I imagine like you probably start stepping forward to follow her, and you trip over some bones as well. And your ears perk up, like tip backwards as you hear that jumbling behind you, and you turn around, and you see something drawing itself up off of the ground. And it's the ribs, the spine, the torso, clavicles, and the long arms, and a crusting, dusty beard clinging to the smiling face of a giant skeleton.
Cool.
It reaches a bony hand up and brings it down. Boom! And you see that it is trying to beat the ice that has encased its legs. We're going to roll initiative.
Huh?
Oh, that's good.
You have advantage, by the way, indoor.
Oh yeah, no, I remembered that shit for this.
You said a beautiful pale woman. Liz is interested. A sheet over her face.
No, bitch.
Tell me who you are at the beginning. Have at least one photo of yourself.
Yeah,
The
the
catfish.
spoon on the left hand.
All right.
12 from Lydia.
12 from Lydia.
21.
21 from Lucas.
17 from Kuori.
17 from Kuori.
22 for Hart.
Oh, Hart. Oh, Hart.
Okay.
You're in a room full of bones. There is some giant bones.
I love the bone room.
So its legs are frozen, though, correct?
Its legs are frozen into the ice underneath it.
Okay.
There's ice here, and it's frozen into it.
Okay.
And it appears to be just out of reach of you.
Like, so how far away is it?
I'll say 20 feet.
Okay. Cool. So Hart is going to yelp.
Oh, baby.
And then he is going to quickly like rummage around for his things, pull out his map, and sort of just like shakily say "Burning Star," and then just turns into like this Starfield druid. And then Hart's just gonna look at it towards this beast, and from the center of his chest, just this glowing orb seems to move out as he casts Flaming Sphere. But as the flaming sphere zips over to this old bone boy, the fire looks like it's getting too big for the space that it's in, and it starts to implode. And in its space is just this kind of like rippling gravitational field, as I'm going to use one of my meta magic points to transmute my flaming orb from fire to thunder damage. So now there is just this thunderous orb that is moving, that is just shake blasting within 5 feet of this large skelly.
Gee, aren't you glad that Tasha's gave us feats that let us multi-class, basically?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Hell yeah. All right. Do you do any damage? Do I gotta do something about that? What's going on?
Flaming sphere only deals damage if I ram the sphere into the creature. So I am going to ram it in, and then at the end of its turn, it will also do it. So I need it to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Does it have disadvantage because it's trapped in ice?
You know, that's a good point. I'm pretty sure the book doesn't say that, but I'm gonna give it to you. Because you're gonna need it. A 13.
13 just makes it, so they are going to be taking half of the overall damage, but that is still half of 6 points of thunder damage.
Okay.
And then the bonus action, or the starry form Hart would have chosen, would have been Archer. Sorry, so he gets to make a ranged attack against them. But is a 10 gonna hit?
No.
Okay, figured. That's it. That's me.
Okay. Does being restrained give people advantage on attacking you?
Restrained. A restrained creature's speed becomes 0. Attack rolls against them have advantage, and the creature's spell. And they have disadvantage on dexterity saves.
Well, that's just so convenient. That's the way we rolled it.
Yes, so I do have advantage trying to hit this creature, which would be a 17 if all attacks have advantage.
That would hit it.
Okay, cool. And then minimum of 4 points. Wait. Just want to check. No, that's not them's. Yeah, 4 points of radiant.
Okay. All right. Anything else for you?
No, that's it.
Lucas, it's your turn.
And the lady's still in this room too?
She darted away.
Okay, well, there goes that plan. Lucas is gonna cast Zephyr Strike on himself.
Ooh.
So no attacks of opportunity against me.
I love these ranger spells that make you like a speedy boy that can stab things.
Very good. I am very appreciative of no opportunity attacks. And I'm gonna use the once before the spell ends. I already have advantage, but I'll do the one. Oh, well, if I hit, I do have advantage. Um, 17.
A 17 will definitely hit.
Cool. Uh, 5 damage plus an extra D8. So 8 damage, and then my second attack with my other short sword
Already?
also has advantage. 18.
Okay.
And then I don't add the dexterity to this damage. So 5 damage.
Awesome. Just chipping away at this thing. You go like very quickly, like Naruto run up to that skeleton, just start.
And then after I hit it, I would back up like 10
It's very
feet.
descriptive for an audio medium. Like how do you describe this? What's this?
A whirling attack.
A whirling dervish?
Yes. Well, that's a specific kind of fighter, but we can get into that in Knights.
Okay. Is it? I thought a dervish was a type of knights. Okay. Kuori, it's you.
Okay. Okay. Um. Okay. Okay, no, I don't have. Okay, ignore me. She is going to switch from magic to her trusty longsword.
Sounds trusty.
I hope so. Um, so they're going to take out their shield in a very practiced manner. They're going to flip out their shield, put it out against this bone daddy, and take their sword out. And you can still see a faint glow of magic, especially within her tattoos. But she is going to try and hit this thing only once, because I still don't have more than one attack per action.
Daddy is ready.
Yeah, and it's with advantage because it's restrained, right?
Yes, you're correct.
I want to use a different dice because I didn't like that one. Okay, that's way better. Okay, the other one was a 5. This is a 17.
That
Plus
will
5,
hit.
yeah, 22. The D10, no, the D8. That's gonna be 6 points of damage.
For 6 points?
Yeah, slashing.
Well, nickel and dime you guys' way to somewhere.
Yeah, listen. I'm only level 4.
It's fine. Listen.
I'm
very small.
level,
I'm
and
very
I have no
small
money.
and I have no money.
So you can imagine the type of pressure I'm under.
All right. Anything else for you, Kuori?
No, I have no bonus actions.
Oh my gosh! It's fifth level. You get your extra attack.
Yeah.
All right, Lydia.
Also, you can take 5 damage back because I didn't get that second attack because I used Zephyr Strike as my bonus action.
Oh, you right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's fine. I'll take care of it.
Lydia, seeing all of this going down and everyone rushing to attack, will once again clutch at her raven token and bless her allies. Again, you feel that whoosh of ethereal feathers surrounding you for a moment before disappearing, and you feel invigorated. And so you have D4s for attacks and saving throws. And as a bonus action, can I see if I can see where the beautiful lady went?
Yes. Give me a perception check.
16 total?
16 is pretty good. Let me do a check myself.
I'm looking with my special eyes.
Look with your special eyes. Do you have any skills? You do not. But you can be a certain way if you wish. I don't think you will. You see that light that was previously housed inside of a lantern. No longer so. There is just a mote of light that is kind of hanging out, floating around, kind of like a firefly almost. But it certainly is that light, and it certainly is of a intentional nature. And it's kind of like taken it has dimmed its own light enough that like it thinks it's being sneaky, but you can still see it.
Okay.
It's not lurking.
It's not invisible.
It's not invisible.
Okay. Lydia will try and position herself within 15 feet of her allies as much as possible.
Okay. Certainly.
And keeping a watchful eye
On that light?
on that light.
Okay. Anything else for you?
That's everything.
The skeleton is going to raise its fist and bring it down. Boom! Crackle, 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 crick, crick, crick. Bring up its other fist. Boom! Crackle, 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 crick, crick, crick. And you see a piece of ice slough off in a big like chunk. And you see its toes begin to wiggle.
At the end of its turn, it needs to make another dexterity saving throw.
That's fine. Disadvantage. That's not going to make it.
Excellent. So that is going to be for 9 points of thunder.
Ow. Ow, says the frost giant.
Also, Babars, thank you so much for the sub.
Gratitude.
Good.
All right. Anything else for you? Or no, it is your turn, Lucas.
I thought Lucas
Not-
had a 21.
Sorry, I said Hart.
Yes.
I meant
okay.
to say Hart.
Cool.
Sorry. I
That's
was
totally
doing that
fine.
thing where I see words and then I read them. It's
So,
Hart's turn.
Hart is just going to... Everybody else is up against this thing. He's just going to ram his thunder ball
Okay.
against this guy again. So another deck save.
Can do. Oh, these dice just love to throw 2s and 1s at me.
That's 5 points of thunder.
Okay.
And then Hart is going to use a first level... Actually, no, because he can do this without using a spell slot. He is going to use a guiding bolt. I love the fact
Ooh.
that I can cast that without a spell slot. That's great. Wait, no, attacks have advantage because it's restrained, so that's always a plus. Does a 14 hit?
You also get a D4 for blessed.
Oh, and a D4. Hold on. So 14. Yata 15.
A 15 will hit.
Haha! Excellent. So, then they are going to be taking 16 points of radiant damage as they begin to glow with a starry light around them from the guiding
Owie.
bolt.
This creature has taken 61 points of damage. It is now bloodied.
Dope. And yeah, Hart's just standing in the back. He's got Thunderball blasting with guiding bolt. He's good. He's feeling it. Or no, fuck. Sorry. Because I don't have guiding bolt. That's right. I have magic missile. D&D Beyond lied to me.
Yeah, why am I allowing this? We specifically switched it out for magic missile.
Yes. So sorry about that.
No concerns. Don't worry about it. We'll just call it for now, and then like going forward, we'll fix it.
I rolled. So it was, they only actually take 2 points less damage.
Okay.
Yeah. So really it works out. I only used guiding bolt once this turn. Guiding bolt the once. We're good.
Gotcha. All right. Anything else for you?
Nope, that's it. I'm going to rename this to say magic missile.
Now it's Lucas's turn.
All right, I will run up and take my 2 swings with my short swords.
Get him.
Oh, I get a D4. Ooh, I'm gonna need it.
Don't forget your advantage.
That's 9 out of 6. Oh yeah. 19. I don't need it.
19 hits.
7 points of damage for the first one.
All right.
Lots of dice. Lots of dice. Oh yeah, it's a natural 19 plus 2 plus 6. 5 points of damage for the second swing.
Okay. Anything else for you, Lucas?
Just backing up 10 feet after after the attack.
All right. Kuori, it's your turn.
How little my sword hits. She's actually going to. Okay. Yeah. God, because I do have another spell slot, but I kind of want to save it for this lady who I'm pretty sure is a hag. Okay, so
Mean accusations.
yeah, I can make all the accusations I want after y'all betrayed me.
I have done no such
By
thing.
y'all, I mean Danae Keener and LizMac.
How dare you accuse Danae Keener of DanaeKeener.com of any sort of betrayal? I know, right, Frankie?
And LizMac of
Frankie's
Clever
the
Place
green-
Studios. Unbelievable.
Take your turn.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Nice in the courtyard. Yeah, no. She will then use her action to cast firebolt. Firebolt, yeah. The cantrip level because it's a cantrip.
Feel free. Go ahead and roll at advantage.
Cool. That's a lot better. 16.
16 will hit.
Coolio.
Roll me some firebolt damage.
That is 9.
Ooh, that's on the higher end for that dice.
Yeah, right?
Hell yeah. All right, anything else for you?
Nope.
Awesome. Lydia, it's your turn.
Okay. Again, with her eyes still peeled on that light, Lydia will see that Bone Daddy is being taken care of by majority of the other party members and cast. She will. Sorry, just a second. You hear as the sort of ethereal song note echoes from Lydia's lips, and she is going to cast Word of Radiance, and both creatures must succeed on a Constitution saving throw of 14.
Let's see. Interesting. All right. Why do I have so many tabs open? Don't close them all, you fool. You need some of those tabs. I started like indiscriminately closing tabs and I was like, wait a second.
But yes, while you're doing that, what the other party members hear is sort of like this very like mournful note just emit from Lydia's lips. And it resonates a little bit in your shoulders as it does, but has no effect on you.
Nice. I got a 12 for the giant.
Fails.
And a 7 for the light.
Fails. So they both take 4 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
And that she will move closer to the light. Lydia will, I would say, move about 10 feet closer to the light.
Okay.
So that she remains 25 feet away from her party members.
Gotcha. Anything else for you, Lydia?
That's everything.
On its turn, the giant is going to reach over and grab something out of a pile of bones and drag it towards it. You can hear the dry shuffling and jumbling of this pile, and he pulls an enormous rusty battle axe out of it, and he brings it up and just boom, and there's a huge cracking sound, and you can hear ice crumbling away from him. And he gives it another whack for good measure. Boom! And it all just falls away. And as he stands up, you can hear rocks and bones tumbling around him, and he just towers over you. His arms slack at his sides. He tips his head to the side, and you can see 2 pinpricks of blue light deep in his sockets. He's coming. At the beginning of
Lord, he coming.
at the top of the round, this light, having been spotted and having been harmed, it kind of flickers weakly, and you see it start to kind of like do this like flicker and stagger kind of move as it kind of floats slowly down the hallway. Lydia, it seems wounded and upset. Hart, it's your turn.
At the end of Giant's turn, it needed to make another deck save.
Thank you. I always will forget. I guarantee it. Deck save is going to be a 9, so that's nil.
4 points of thunder. Okay. And then on Hart's turn, bonus action, he is going to throw the thunder sphere into the creature again, so it needs to make another deck save.
Okay. That's a natural 1 for a 0.
Okay. Another 4 points of thunder.
Okay.
And then I will use my second freebie magic missile for the day.
All right.
All right, so magic missile. That is going to be for 13 points of force damage.
Nice. Hart, what does it look like when you destroy this creature the moment before it gets to swing its axe into Kuori's head?
So big ol' creature finally like grabbed its axe, broke its legs free, stood up, and is just looming over the party. And Hart is in Burning Star form, just looks up with that one blazing eye that he has on his right side when he's in his starry form. And as he looks up, the Thunderball moves and just like shoves itself inside of the rib cage of this creature and begins like just expanding outward. That contained blast no longer imploding, but finally able to release itself. And then again, like nonchalantly, no arms are moved, anything like that. Just these 3 streaks of stars just shoot out from his chest and hit probably like the shoulder that was holding the battle axe, as well as the hip joints that were keeping it up on its own top. So it just sort of like parts away and then just begins collapsing onto the ground. But Kuori, you just see it like raise its axe towards you, and then arm blasted off, legs blasted off, top just comes like straight down, and then Hart's next to you. And they just turn, and again, like, eye has like this like burning rock in it, and then just continues to turn until they are facing towards Lydia and this small star this small light that is currently trying to run away from them.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you pursue?
Yeah, I'll move my 35 feet towards that thing.
Okay. Hart begins to do a scary Terminator walk towards that light, which seems to like hustle a little bit more.
There is no wasted steps.
Corey's just following. She's not even. It's like, I will unpack this later.
I hate that. All right, we could move in initiative, but that sounds boring. Is everybody going after the star?
Yeah.
Okay. It sounds like Hart's going to be taking the lead here. What do we want to do for walking order here? Like Hart, Kuori, Lucas, Lydia?
I actually Lydia would probably be behind Hart because she moved closer to the light
Gotcha.
at
Okay.
first. So
How far away is it?
A distance.
I have a long bow.
You're I guess you could shoot at it
150.
if you so wished. I'll give you one shot at it.
Okay.
you only get one shot, one opportunity.
Better make it count. Better kill
Don't
it in
miss your
one
chance
shot.
to blow.
Mom's spaghetti. Are we at that part yet?
It's the only part I care about.
Or additionally, just you're not throwing away your shot.
I'm not going to throw away my shot.
19 to hit.
19 is exactly what you need to hit. Roll me some damage.
Oh, it got stuck. I
don't
gotta roll
like
again.
that.
3 plus 7 damage.
7 damage.
Mhm.
All right. You see the light go out, and then it flickers back to light. Flickers back to life. And I don't know how to describe its attitude other than indignant. Like it brightens a whole lot more. And anyone with any amount of insight can tell that it was faking how hurt it was before. And it's like, well, fine, if you're gonna be that way about it. And it actually like begins moving without pretending to be hurt, and then just continues on.
I throw a firebolt because it has 120-foot range.
Same with magic missile and my chalice archer.
Okay, go for it.
You know what? No, fuck this. I'm gonna use magic missile because I have that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's not a lot, but it'll sure hit. Okay.
Hart, you're not going to get your magic missile because it has a turn ahead of you. It would be able to get it out of range first.
Even.
Because you already had your turn this round. It has an initiative of 28.
Right, okay. I didn't know if I had, because I had moved closer towards it, so I didn't know if it had like moved out beforehand.
Right, no, it's turned a corner.
All right. I'm fine with that. That saves me a spell slot.
Do I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool.
You haven't had a turn yet.
No, so that's 8.
I was gonna try and skip initiative, but everybody wanted to take pot shots at this thing.
I want to kill them. That's 8 plus 3, a math number.
11.
11 points of the force.
11 points of force damage.
Of the force damage. Yes.
Of the force damage. So it acts all sassy and tries to dart away. Kuori rushes forward and tosses those magic missiles out ahead in a very similar way to those firebolts from before in the cave. Creates these circles of light down this hallway very quickly, and unerringly these magic missiles strike true. And there is a poof. And it is undeniable that you just killed whatever this thing is.
Well, seems it's not our problem anymore.
That seemed too easy. I don't know if I like that.
We just wait.
Just as Lydia's action, just in case, she's going to cast See Invisibility. And you watch as her eyes start to sparkle and glow silver before her irises change to completely cloudy silver. Does she see anything?
She does not.
I think it's up for like, I want to say 10 minutes. I think. I will double check, but Lydia, eyes peeled for anything that may be moving or lurking in the shadows as they continue.
All right. You continue on, and as you do so, you begin to smell. I want to say that Hart would be the first person to smell. Do you keep your star form up? How long does your star
My
form?
star form lasts for the same amount as a wild
it's 1 hour.
shape. Yeah.
So like an hour.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's just like as until the danger is clearly not an issue, he just stays there.
Gotcha.
See, invisibility also lasts for an hour, so.
Well, I would say that the smell itself would register as danger to Hart. So somewhere deep within that cosmic body, he knows that there is still something wrong here. So he keeps up that that facade of.
I keep my mask layer on.
Essentially, yeah. You continue your protections, and as you're walking along, you can. It is an undeniably spicy smell. Like you know how you can like feel the capsaicin in the air when somebody has been like frying jalapenos.
Yeah.
You can like feel it in your eyes. But it's that capsaicin feeling, but like with a rancid scent underneath. And as you move forward, you can hear a bubbling, and like it is the undeniable sound of a large pot on the boil. But as you come around the corner, probably expecting to see a roaring fire in a large cauldron, you see the cauldron but no fire. It is pitch black in this room, and the fire is nowhere to be seen. With your dark vision, you're able to see in this colorless cave, there is a large wrought iron cauldron with intricate carvings on the side. I guess it wouldn't be a carving if it's moldings on the side, embellishments, decorations. There's clearly something very special about this cauldron. And standing behind the cauldron is that woman, looking a bit more haggard than before. And her hair is now in front of her face. And she kind of looks up and seems a bit startled. And she says, "What happened to my glimmer?"
Excuse me.
Did you kill my glimmer?
Yes.
I think there might be some miscommunication, but who are you exactly?
And the bones.
Killed them too.
They tried to attack us.
She like sits there for a second, like, oh shit.
Kuori just has a straight face.
Looking around the room, you can see that there are various bits of gore and ick just kind of spread across tables and such. These are clearly humanoid remains, and like looking down, you can see that there are like some pretty clearly like a pair of like leather fisherman's boots. Like this appears to be the fate of the fisherman.
Lydia will step forward, hesitantly at first, but try and meet the gaze of the woman with the hair in her face. And for a moment, those standing behind her can see her shadow almost envelop her a little bit more as her eyes glow dark purple. And she says, "Don't worry, we'll have you joining your bone friends soon." And she's going to cast Guiding Bolt directly at her face.
Before you do that, she actually raises her hands in a sign of supplication.
Lydia will hold the spell. Explain yourself, please, and what you are doing with our dear fisherman friends who seem to be rather indisposed.
As she does so, the hair kind of falls away from her face. And
I'm holding that guiding bolt.
yeah, where you expect to see a face, there is just a wide array of needle sharp teeth that spread from ear to ear. Her nose is flattened against her face with only 2 slits to denote where the nostrils are. And behind that stringy white hair, you can see these wide bulbous eyes on either side of her head covered in a thick film. These lenses intended for seeing in deep, deep ocean. And she says, wait, I can get you riches. There's a treasure at the bottom of the lake. I can get it for you.
Kuori. Lydia's eyes do not leave this creature. Guiding bolt still burning in her hand.
We're not here for riches.
The cauldron, then. It can feed an entire town for weeks.
And you only ask for your life in return? Did you kill all these fishermen who were just trying to feed that town?
We all need to eat.
So do their families.
And they will, when you take the cauldron.
But who's to say that we couldn't just kill you and then take the cauldron? Look, I'm not one for endangering others. I would like people to meet their end when they should, as they should, and stay that way. However, if every single time a fisherman comes to try and feed his family, they instead feed yours, that's a problem.
I will not be here.
Where will you be? Whose family
Elsewhere.
will you feed upon?
No one's.
Everything eats.
Do we believe that?
Give me an insight check.
Insight check this.
Because Matt doesn't believe that.
Lydia's shadow is still angrily flickering like a pair of wings behind her.
Not natural 20.
A non-natural 20?
Dirty 20.
A dirty 20. I don't know why I did that.
Why you gotta say it like that?
You gotta put that stank on it like that?
I'm so tired. I have no brain filter. It is 1 a.m.
It's a mood.
Kuori, from your knowledge, this appears to be a sea hag. Sea hags do not need to feed on the flesh of humans to survive. It's just something that they do for fun.
Corey's going to kind of walk walk forward but be behind Lydia and say, you see, Lydia, she wasn't feeding her own family, she was just feeding for fun.
Oh, so what you're saying is these fishermen didn't have to leave their children as orphans, their wives without husbands, their family starving? This was
These
just
are hard
a sport?
times. We all have our vices.
Lucas is going to cast his effort strike.
I let go of the guiding bolt right at her face.
All right. I'm just gonna let this happen. There is a series of violence.
I'll throw my fireball and lightning lure in there.
Yeah,
Do
no,
a little light show.
all elements combined to fight Azula. And there is a swift moment of violence and then silence within the cave.
Is she dead or is she gone?
She's dead.
Okay.
You killed her.
Lydia's shoulders drop for a second, and it's almost as if she feels a little heavier and tired, and her eyes return to normal, and that also felt a little too easy. Wait, did we do the right thing? She was hunting
Yes.
fishermen for sport, right? We did the right thing.
Kuori's just gonna kind of like pick her up, kind of going to her, like saying like you can like not do this if you don't want to, but she'll kind of
Lydia,
open
lean
her
into your
arm,
arms.
and kind of pick her up, and say, "We did the right thing."
This is
These
probably
are
the first. Oh, you can go.
These are hard times, and everybody has their vices, but drinking yourself into a stupor and feeding on people are slightly different.
I don't think we should hunt for sport.
No.
This is the first time you see Lucas like actually angry. Like he's just kind of staring at the ground with his fist clenched.
We should take these fishermen home to their families so they can have a proper burial. And this cauldron, can I go up to the cauldron and see if I recognize any of like the inscription or any of the magic that's behind it?
Can
Certainly.
I help her?
Yeah. Arcana with advantage, or any other knowledge check that you can justify to me.
I'll stick with Arcana. The highest. So with advantage, that is 23 total.
23. Okay. Looking at this, you have you come from a family of adventure suppliers. You know a magic item when you see one. If what she said is true, this might be something called a cauldron of plenty. Essentially, it's a magic cauldron that you fill it with water and it turns that water into food. It doesn't even need a fire underneath it. It just makes a piping hot stew.
Would I know if there's like a limited amount, or can it be done once per day type of deal?
There is a limit, but you don't know exactly how much. It's going to require some testing.
How big is it?
Quite large.
Lydia, I can carry it this way.
No, I know you can carry it, Kuori. I'm just more thinking for the boat right back. Maybe we can.
You will certainly need to dump out the stew in order to have
yeah,
any hope of carrying this thing.
We're not eating this fisherman's stew.
Yeah, you don't want fisherman's stew either. That's
this
really
is not
gross.
fisherman's friend. But maybe if we empty it out and drag it behind the boat, I think that will probably be the best. But I'm not one for exploring this cave anymore. I think we should get back with this cauldron and the remains of the fishermen to
Maybe
town.
we could put Snowball in the pot, in the boat.
Okay, we'll figure it out. But we should get back.
She's just gonna just tip the cauldron over.
Yeah, just a horrible smell. That and like that capsaicin gets all up in the air, and like your eyes water and your noses, and like gets all up in your sinuses. Disgusting, horrible, very ungood. But that cauldron kind of has that like cast iron like non-stick quality to it, and the stew just kind of slumps out like fucking slime, like in a slime video on YouTube. Just it just like all comes out in one piece.
Can Lydia take 10 minutes to go to the remains of the fishermen, the remaining parts?
Certainly. We're going to need to fast play the last few minutes of this game. We're over time, and
yes,
we do need to wrap things up with Lucas.
Essentially, she just wants to try and piece together what parts go together and then cast gentle repose on all of them so that they no longer decay for now.
Understandable. Yeah, I think that Lydia does the grim work of basically getting everything together that is appropriate in a situation like this. And any other parts that need to be disposed of, you can lay those to rest in the proper way. But otherwise, you will have something to present to the families.
Yeah. And then hightail it back to the boat with everyone else. That's all she wants to accomplish in the cave.
Yep. You lash the cauldron to the boat. It leans way back. I say that the cauldron probably is lashed to the back of the boat, but you're able to get it across the ice and across the water. And like eventually, like one of those ice fishermen will see you as you approach, and they will call back to the town. And a good number of well-muscled young men will come out and help you haul that cauldron in. And the further you bring it through town, the more it spread, the more like word spreads through town, and then like more and more people start coming until it's almost a parade. This place was filled with so much despair before, but like people are really amazed to see something so large and so elaborate, and like there are rumors spreading of what miracles this thing might be able to perform as you bring it to town square.
Lydia will definitely make sure she stands a little bit further in the back, and will every once in a while, now that people are gathering, use thaumaturgy to sort of make Lucas's hair blow majestically in wind that's not there, or just zhuzh up his appearance a little bit and draw more attention to him than her.
I think, okay, we're at a turning point here. We can either wrap things up for Lucas right now, or we can have one more episode and possibly like be able to devote a little bit more time and attention to it. What is your preference?
I like having Matt on the show.
Yeah, like
So do I.
I'm asking Matt. He's the only opinion that matters here.
I would happily be at any more episodes.
All right, excellent. So that cauldron is, yeah, actually, it's probably a good thing that you're gonna stay. That cauldron is dragged into town square and brought up the steps. And there is cheering. Lucas is brought up onto the shoulders of several townspeople, and he's paraded around the square. Everybody is singing the praises of the hero of East Haven. And the rest of you are kind of standing up on the porch, and you can you see the town speaker come out. His name is Daneth Whalen, I believe. Yeah, that's it. Daneth Whalen. He's kind of a sickly looking man, kind of stooped over a little bit. He's actually very young, but he's one of those guys that like leadership has aged him significantly. And he's got like these dark circles under his eyes, and they're watching the festivities of this the joy and the festivities of all of this. And the captain leans into Daneth. Kuori, I'll say you specifically hear this exchange. Captain Arlagath leans into him and says, "You know, we're going to have to do the lottery soon." And he just like raises a hand and says, "Let them have this." And that's where we're going to go to the big break, the week-long one, the end.
The
Good
long
night, everybody.
Oh no. The long break.
Hey, thank you so much for running this game. I always have a blast whenever you're on the show. Where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, everybody. My name's Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, mostly related to D&D, and a lot of things on this channel. You can also find me at Danae Keener on Twitter. I have my schedule pinned there, so you can see what else I'm up to on across the streaming verse on these twitching and twitches. Danakier.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Satan, and you can find me on Twitter at LSVamp and also on Twitch, where I do art streams. And hopefully soon, after the beginning of April, I will do some video game streams as well. And by video game streams, I mean Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, where you can watch me yell at the Team Rocket boss guy that, how many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? But you can also find me on Twitch and many other channels like this channel on Sunday nights and Thursday nights, playing Mask with these lovely people, with other lovely people on this channel. You can also find me here once a month on Wednesdays playing my vampire mobster Lilith on Monster Noir. And you can also find me on Saturdays. You can find me over at Valdria's channel playing Dragon Age. Then after that, over at Plot Hunters, my main channel, playing Tyranny of Dragons. We're an all POC, all LGBTQIA plus channel. So if you like supporting those spaces, please come and watch us. We have a lot of fun and make a lot of dirty jokes. You can also find me Sunday mornings over at Nexus Adventures, DMing for a few friends of mine, where I'm taking them currently through a very scary island called the Dread Isle. And Mondays you can find me over at Weave the Tale, playing a 70s biker witch who reads your beer foam instead of your tea leaves. That's me.
Hi everybody, I'm LizMac or LizMacD22 on Twitter. You can find me here every Sunday playing Lydia, our Sweet Bean Rock Gnome cleric. You can also find me over at jabroni.tv, which is an amazing group of streamers that also has our lovely BlinkDog182 as well. And if you go to jabroni.tv, you can see all of our streaming schedules, upcoming content, and there's even a page for this channel right here to see what's playing, any merch, anything like that. And aside from that, you can also find me at Clever Plays, as I'm the community manager of Clever Plays Studio, a really amazing indie game company based here in Canada. And our game Operation Tango is coming out this year, and the demo is out on Steam now if you would like a co-op spy puzzle adventure. It's really cool. You should check it out. And I'll see you next Sunday. That's it for me.
And Blinky, where can we find you? What do you do?
Oh, hey, I'm Matt. I'm BlinkDog182 on Twitter and Twitch. I am back to streaming after a short break. But yeah, you can find updates on that on my Twitter.
Excellent. And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey, Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Monday and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as on Sundays at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point. Or you can go towards where audio casts are made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, we are going to be going into our Patreon supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to post them in the Twitch chat to the side throughout this whole Twitch video, or join us on Discord. We can ask those questions there and we will do our best to respond in kind. So with that, I would like to say once again, thank you to Danae for running this absolutely fantastic game. Thank you, Matt, for joining us again this week. And thank you to these players for putting up with our bullshit. And we will see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.